I usually go to the gym at 3 a.m. It's the only time I can guarantee I won't have to wait for equipment or dodge classes. The building is mostly silent then, except for the low hum of the lights and the occasional beep of the security system as the door locks behind me. That night, the parking lot was empty except for a single car near the entrance. I didn't think much of it. I've seen late-night staff vehicles parked there before. I grabbed my bag, swiped my keycard, and walked in. The smell of disinfectant and faint rubber filled the air. I moved through the machines in my usual order, everything normal, just quiet and empty. When I finished, I headed to the showers. The lockers were neat, everything in place. I chose a stall at the far end, turned on the water, and let it run over me. It was late enough that I didn't expect anyone else to be around. Then I heard the locker room door swing open. I waited for a moment, assuming it was staff returning for some reason. Nothing unusual happened, no footsteps approaching, no other sounds. Then I heard it again. Closer this time, the sound of someone entering a stall near mine. The water running from the other stall didn't start. No rustling of towels, no shifting of feet, nothing. Silence, except for the steady hum of my own shower. Minutes passed, maybe 10. The quiet didn't feel empty. It felt deliberate. I finished washing and turned off the water. I grabbed my towel and stepped out of the stall. There was no movement next to me, no sound beyond the faint dripping from my own stall. I hesitated, then looked under the divider. The person in the next stall wasn't wearing gym shoes. Their feet were encased in oversized, muddy rain boots. They were planted firmly on the wet tiles, the mud making faint smears along the floor. I could see the edges of the boots, but nothing else. The stall was too tall to see more. The boots didn't shift, didn't scuff the floor. They stayed perfectly still. I moved past them carefully, grabbing my things and heading toward the locker area. The building was otherwise empty. The machines sat silent, the lights reflecting off the polished floor. I left the showers quickly, wrapping my towel around me, and passed through the lockers. The air felt colder than usual, though the thermostat hadn't changed. I didn't hear anyone following me, but the boots stayed in my mind. The way they'd been there without any sound, waiting. I went out into the parking lot. My car was under one of the overhead lights, pale in the yellow glow. I unlocked it and started loading my bag into the truck. That's when I noticed something unusual. My gym bag had been disturbed. I opened it. My protein bars were gone. In their place was a single tag, small and white. The writing on it was black and precise. "See you at home." The note had been left deliberately. Someone had replaced my belongings while I was showering. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't random. They had observed me, tracked me, and left a message that didn't need words. I closed the bag carefully and locked the doors. I didn't look around, didn't check the lot. I didn't want to see anything that would make the situation more real. The note alone was enough. I drove home slowly, avoiding empty streets and keeping an eye on parked cars. Every intersection felt longer than usual. When I got to my apartment, I set the bag down in the kitchen. I stared at the tag for a long time. The handwriting was neat, clean, purposeful. I thought about the boots in the shower. Oversized, muddy, not casual gym footwear. Someone had come in just for me, watched, waited. The idea of being observed in a place I considered private made the walls of my apartment feel smaller. The lights overhead seemed sharper. Every sound from the street below felt louder. I double-checked the locks on my doors and windows, even though nothing seemed out of place. I started bringing my own locks for the locker, changing routines, sometimes waiting after sunrise. I still go to the gym, but never completely alone. I never leave my bag unattended. I check it carefully before leaving the building. And sometimes, when I lie in bed, I think about the tag, about the boots, about someone who'd been close enough to replace my items without me noticing. It wasn't just a random encounter. It was planned, observed, marked. The note didn't say who they were, didn't say what they wanted, but it told me one thing clearly. They knew where I lived, and they intended to meet me there. I don't know if they were following me before or if they waited until the perfect moment, but they had enough patience to remain still in a stall, 10 minutes of absolute silence without moving, without making a sound. Enough patience to replace my protein bars with a warning. I don't go at 3 a.m. anymore. I check every corner of the gym, every aisle, every locker, every stall. I lock my doors when I drive home. I keep my gym bag close. But even then, the thought doesn't leave me. Oversized, muddy boots, silent, waiting, watching. And the tag, the message. Because they didn't just want to scare me in the moment. They wanted me to know they could follow me anywhere, even home.